I lost my father last week. A crushing blow. Virgil Bennett lost a battle with cancer age 79. He was the most important role model in my life. He showed me what it means to be a man, a parent, a friend, a human being. Losing a parent is always one of a child's greatest fears because we depend on them to keep us alive when we're young and vulnerable. But that anxiety never goes away. The death of our parents remains a big, scary idea, even when we reach adulthood. It's never easy. 4 days after my father's passing, I lost another huge father figure in my life, the person I want to do this post about, Michael Parenti. I would say that my personal education and growth has two intellectual fathers, Noam Chomsky and Michael Parenti. Their work informs pretty much all of my opinions, but I've always had a soft spot for Parenti. I love him. Michael Parenti was a public intellectual, an iconoclast, anti-authoritarian, a brilliant writer and thinker, a dazzlingly articulate and passionate public speaker, and a personal hero. He had some establishment credentials, a PhD from Yale, for example, but was always kept at arm's length by the media and academia because of his left-wing perspective. This meant he always had to sing for his supper, so to speak. Listening to Parenti talk is part of why I developed such a firm attachment. TUC Radio has over 40 audio CDs and 29 DVDs of his talks. You can find many videos of these talks on YouTube, and I would highly recommend you check them out. You won't be sorry. He was also a published author. This stack of books represents most of his work. I've read all but the bottom one, God and His Demons, which I'll have to read in his memory now. Let's go through some of this stack together, shall we? Right off the top, Contrary Notions. I like this little bit. Picked it out this morning for you. In our own society, reality is more a problem for the ruling class than for the rest of us. It has to be constantly finessed and misrepresented to cloak a reactionary agenda. Those at the top understand that the corporate political culture is not a mystically self-sustaining system. They know they must work tirelessly to propagate the ruling orthodoxy, to use democratic appearances to cloak plutocratic policies. This is a great one. Got your most basic, essential readings of the Michael Parenti reader. Here we have probably his other top 5 books here that are known around the world. First off, we'll go to perhaps his most famous, Democracy for the Few. This is the first Parenti book I ever got my hands on. It's often sold as a college textbook at exorbitant prices, something that always drove Parenti up the wall because he never saw a dollar of that. But this is an excellent, excellent book. Great introduction to Parenti's work. If you're looking for something a little shorter, this one is another great introduction, Super Patriotism, where Parenti kind of questions how patriotism is used to stifle dissent in this country. I think you find it very enlightening. I love this one. You can also look up the Super Patriotism talk on YouTube. Great, great speech. Next, this is a personal favorite of mine, The Assassination of Julius Caesar. Parenti looks at the actual history, and the story about Julius Caesar is a little different from the one that we get through our mainstream narrative. Parenti brings out a lot of support for the idea that Caesar was actually trying to challenge the landlords, and that's the reason he was assassinated. Fascinating. Next up, Against Empire. This is very relevant for today as the imperial boomerang swings back around to hit us all in the face here in the United States. Parenti goes over a lot of the sins of the American empire done on behalf of American corporations and for-profit players. This one, Inventing Reality, is one of the greats. This came out before Manufacturing Consent, which Parenti always liked to mention. He wrote this before Chomsky came out with Manufacturing Consent. It covers a lot of the same material about how the mainstream narratives created in the press are often massaged, propagandistic, and how the propaganda works. One thing he said is that you never realize that you're on a leash if you're sitting right next to the post that the leash is tied to. It's only when you pull against the leash that you feel the leash. Now we're getting into the deep cuts. These are some of the lesser-known Parenti titles, but as a Parenti superfan, I still recommend them. Dirty Truths is another great one. This one has his JFK essays, looking at the conspiracy around the killing of Kennedy and the cover-up, and provided a lot of the inspiration for my Lee Harvey Oswald post that I did. I love this book. It's got a lot of other stuff besides that. Dirty Truths. Land of Idols, another classic. The Terrorism Trap, this is one that came out post 9/11. Why does the world hate us? What are we doing? You know, kind of walking people through how United States foreign policy created a lot of resentment globally that helped inspire 9/11. Power and the Powerless, a classic, looking again at empire. Make-believe media doesn't just look at the press, but looks at movies and academia and how a lot of sacred cows are created in this country. History is Mystery, another one, looking at how propaganda narratives are formed in real time and kind of takes a closer look at how that has happened in historical with a historical perspective. And again, God and His Demons is the one I haven't read. I'll have to read that one later. Just want to say, please check out Michael Parenti, Gone But Not Forgotten. And rest in power to both Michael Parenti and Virgil Bennett. Love those guys. Big loss. Sorry to see them go. Please give a like, follow, favorite, repost, and follow my link tree to sign up for my Substack. Let's make them pay.